everyone, welcome back to another 1/6 scale figure review. Today is going to be the Mondo exclusive edition of MacReady from The Thing. One of my favourite horror movies. Probably top two. This and Alien. Probably my favourite two horror movies of all time. Obviously directed by the great John Carpenter. And MacReady played by the legendary Kurt Russell. And this is going to be a really experimental review / custom. Yes, I'm definitely going to custom this in the future. The reason is I think this has a lot of potential, and this is my first Mondo figure. And yeah, this is pretty much my first impression of the company. And I think overall, I think I am satisfied. It comes with a fair bit of accessories. The exclusive being the dog thing and the spider head, which is really cool. You get some swap out parts there. This display base is not included. It is the Hot Toys Snow Speeder Luke. Yeah, the Snow Speeder base, which fits perfectly with this. And I do agree with most of the opinions of people saying that this is not a figure without flaws. This definitely has pretty big flaws. But I think sometimes I can give that a pass if it's open to customize. And for me, I do enjoy, tearing some stuff apart and customizing them to make them more accurate and more to my liking. Something I was very proud of was my recent Batman custom, which I'll link that down below and chuck it in the end cards. And yeah, I think this has that potential to look a step better than what Mondo has given us. But I do think there are many good things Mondo have given here. But I do think for them to be in the 1/6 scale world, I guess you can say, they do need to maybe ramp it up, especially with Hot Toys, In Art, 3-0, Caustic Plastic and all those guys kind of leaping a step forward. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is get into the review, start with the head sculpts, because I do think they're by far the best things in the set here. And I was really surprised in just how good Mondo did with the Kurt Russell likeness. So yeah, we'll get into it. Also, just before I start, I really love that Mondo, Mondo, for people that don't know, a company that usually do posters and artwork type stuff. And I really do appreciate the attention to detail that they did with something as simple as the box, kind of having this illusion 3D effect of the Thing monster at the end of the film, kind of like shooting out. But yeah, I think just that small attention to detail is really appreciated. And hopefully they can go that one step further the more they dive into 1/6. So we have the first head sculpt, which is what he comes in the packaging, which is a kind of clenched teeth, more pissed off look. And honestly, I think Mondo have done a really good job here. I do like the skin texturing. I like how they have not done an old school Hot Toys technique where they just made everyone really tan. He's pretty pale in this movie. Pretty much all the guys were. they were all pretty much on the verge of frostbite, so they weren't looking the most healthiest. So I think this head sculpt does really portray that look really, really well. And right next to it, coming in frame now, is the more frostbitten look that he has mostly at the end of the movie, when they start blowing up pretty much the whole complex. I find it really difficult now to pick which one I want to display with, because I do love this look too, and it is unique because it's very rare to get like a frostbitten, frosty character like this, you know. It does stand out, and I really love the more troubled look. And yeah, like I said, I think the skin texturing both looks really, really good. I would love to see Mondo do like rolly eyes and maybe rooted hair, because I think that would really, really elevate the sculpts. And yeah, I think the sculpts are probably the best likeness to Kurt Russell as of now. You know, I think they knock Mondo's out of the park. Obviously different scale, but I do see the likeness better with this pack. And you know, speaking of Kurt Russell, it's interesting, has he given his likeness rights in recent years? Because just a couple of days ago we did get Asmus Kurt Russell in Escape from New York, which is something I have already hopped on and pre-ordered myself. But it seems like we are getting a bit of Kurt Russell merch or John Carpenter style films out there. And hopefully if we are going to get some John Carpenter stuff, I would really like to see figures from The Fog. I think that would be really, really interesting. But I think as much as I have given positive praise to the figure so far, I think it's now the step into more the negative aspects, which is the fake leather jacket. And it's something that I'm really, really against when it comes to 1/6 scale, is this material. Granted, this feels a bit better than some of the Hot Toy stuff. This almost feels like it's obviously fabric underlay. It almost feels like it is sprayed or painted on top, similar to doing like a clear acrylic leather, similar to the Terminator customs that I did and my Eric Draven Crow, how I painted a layer of angelic paint to give like a leather sheen. I don't think it is that. I do still think it is pleather and it's going to rot, but it feels much more different to the Hot Toy stuff. And because of this fake leather shit, I decided to get this as a backup plan, which is a DID military jacket. And I did weather it up with the orangey tan disintegration that it did have in the film. So you can see the damage there and the weathering that I did. And I'm a bit conflicted as well until I step into the custom and see which one I prefer, because I really do like the accuracy that this one has, and with the fur like in the film. Obviously this doesn't have it, but my original plan was to cut this off and glue it on. But overall, I really, really do like the appearance of this. And I think I might just wait it out with this guy. And once this disintegrates to the point of no return, then I might cut what is needed to put on this guy and just swap it out. So I know that's probably a cop-out because it is a waiting game, but I do like the appearance of this. Also, another thing to add is the missing blue hoodie, which is something I grabbed here from eBay, just a regular 1/6 scale hoodie. Pretty thin material, so I think when I do the swap out, body swap and custom, I think this will fit nicely. So that's there as a replacement. Again, bit of a cop-out, but I did rewatch the movie a couple of days ago, and in the first portion of the film, he actually doesn't have the hoodie on, which is something I never realised. When Bennings is getting turned into the thing and kind of escapes that medical lab room, and, MacReady and all the guys basically burn him in gasoline, he's not wearing this under the jacket, which is something I never knew until I really wanted to focus and see what scenes, what accessories MacReady had in what scenes, and I was pretty surprised that he doesn't have that until halfway through the movie when he puts the flamethrower on. And obviously, people can use that as an excuse for this guy, but he didn't have the gun holster in that scene. So what Mondo have given is a bit of conflicting parts here. And obviously you do get the flamethrower with the set. And in that scene he does have this on. So there is a bit of conflicting parts. And obviously if it doesn't come with the hoodie, then it doesn't come with the sombrero hat, which is pretty hilarious to see now, but it was a military hat that MacReady did wear. He was a flight officer, and obviously that's not included, which is a shame because I feel if that was, I would have bought two and have this guy wear the hoodie with the shotgun when they first go to the scene of the other explorers, the Norwegians. Yeah, the more I'm moving around with this figure, the more I'm getting a bit annoyed as well, because this body, I think, is the worst thing that this figure comes with. I'm trying to kind of pull the leather jacket down, because realistically it's supposed to be over his holster. But because this is so unnecessarily bulky, this body, you can't do shit with this guy. And a good example is these shoulder straps should be more forward here, but you can't move the jacket anymore because this body is just so hefty and unnecessarily big. I'm not too familiar with Mondo, but is this just a Batman animated series body that they repainted, or the Masters of the Universe line? I'm pretty sure it does look like it, so I'm guessing that's what the body is. And they just obviously gave it, a paler complexion. But it's just so difficult to manage, and it's just such an awkward looking, 1/6 scale body. It is really heavy feeling, so that's nice. But you can't do anything to it. And the articulation is not the best as well. Also, I think another big negative is the zippers on the pants here. It's got a really weird iridescent shine to it. Like, it looks like the iridescent oil spills, how it has like purples, greens, blues. Really weird choice. It should have just been a silver. You could see it really, really obviously there. It's almost like a rainbow zipper. Really weird choice for Mondo there. But I do think the boots are pretty good. Could they have been weathered a little bit? Yes, but I think it's okay. I have seen a lot of people customize on some of the forms, and it looks like it's a Mondo specific boot with the peg joint connector, so I have no idea how I'm going to get around with it, but if I have to like shave and cut some stuff inside the boot internally, so be it. Because I do think they're good boots to actually use for my future body swap. But yeah, I think the fabrics are pretty good. The undersuit, flight suit is pretty good. The belt is also not pleather. It's almost like a felt suede. And the gun and holster is a plastic. So that's a positive. It's more the jacket you got to worry about when it comes to deterioration. And I think we'll start with the timed accessory pieces, which we have the husky, or one of the multiple ones, because you can see there's multiple legs. But this is really awesome, and because I'm such a massive fan of the thing, I had to get the time version. I think it was well worth the extra couple of dollars for this guy. And it is pretty lightweight. It is a hollow PVC piece, but it does get the job done. I do think there is custom potential here to maybe make it more gory looking. I have to go back and look at the movie because obviously they used practical effects. So I want to go back and watch and see how gnarly and bloody the practical prop was. But yeah, I think this is really, really gruesome and kind of sad that the husky had to go through this. But it is an awesome piece. And the other timed accessory that you get is Spider Vance, Norris Vance here. And this is really, really sick. You get articulated joints here at the mid portion of the arms. There's no articulation anywhere else. I don't think there is a need to do articulated parts, but I do really like that they did give us something. You don't have to have the whole thing articulate. But yeah, I think this is really, really sick as well, and disgusting. Really, really gory. The effects are amazing in this film as well. And I'm really happy that Mondo betrayed the gnarliness that that film had in figure format. One can argue that the likeness is not 100% there and the realism's not here, but I do enjoy stuff like this because at the end of the day it was a prop. It's not supposed to look real, and especially for the time frame that the thing was made, they didn't have that technology to make stuff look as real. But I think that's the beauty of it, and I do think Mondo portrayed that pretty good here. While I've got my camera set up and zoomed in, I might as well show the flamethrower and gas canister. I'm not going to pop it on the figure because there is some adjusting that you have to do with the harness. Pop it the right way. And I think they done a relatively good job. I think the sculpt is good. I think the weathering could have been a little bit better. You know, some of the silver work here is a bit, you know, rushed and sloppy. Especially on the gun. You got some parts that look pretty decent, and then some of them don't look as good. And you do get the flame attachment. I'm not going to get it out the box, but it is a pretty heavy piece, so if you are going to display MacReady with it, make sure it's with both hands and not one. And yeah, I think this is a really good set. And just quickly, I might as well go through what I am going to customize in the future. Oh yeah, just quickly, I might as well show the gun and holster. So the holster is a soft, squishy plastic, which is good, instead of pleather. And that's the gun there. Pretty basic 1/6 scale gun. I could find the better one, hopefully in my collection. Maybe I got somewhere in a cabinet or drawer. I've got a better detailed revolver. Or Smith & Wesson. I forgot what brand it was in the movie. But yeah, that's still pretty good overall. Speaking on the belt, I just remembered, there is a shot in the film where MacReady is ready to shoot people when they refuse to do the blood test. and he's basically got the gun pointed at Childs. There is a back view of the holster, and there should be bullet cartridges here. So I do have a spare belt with bullets, and I'm thinking maybe I fabric glue it onto this back. Maybe. I have to see. But it is missing in this figure, and I'll pop a reference up so you know what I'm talking about. But just to go over again what I am going to do with this, 100% body swap, that's the number one thing I'm doing. Adding the blue hoodie is another thing. Swapping out the hands to more realistic hands that I have on my set is also a must. Seeing if I can Dremel something in the boot to actually have it fit regular 1/6 scale body legs. Because I do know Mondo made a specific joint for this. Or if it comes down to it, I have to snap the bottom part off and attach it to my custom body leg. And I thought just before my final thoughts, I would swap out the pose to him holding the shotgun. Again, it's a shame it doesn't come with the hoodie, the goggles, the hat, and also the lantern. I would have loved to him a lantern when he is exploring the derelict ship, pretty much. But yeah, the articulation is pretty terrible. It's actually really bad. You can't really do anything more than what is shown here. But if you're stepping into that with the knowledge of that, and you do want to customize this guy and swap out some parts here and there, I do think this is a good base model. It is a good blank canvas, and I do genuinely think the head sculpts are the saving grace of this guy. And yeah, I'm pretty much more excited to pull this figure apart and kind of bring the envision of what I see MacReady. Because I do think it does have the possibilities to look much better than what it is stock. Still a decent figure, and I think overall Mondo have done a good job for an entry level to 1/6. Hopefully their Nada is better from They Live, another Carpenter film, which it seems like Mondo are doing a theme for their more realistic 1/6 scale figures. John Carpenter classics. I might pick that guy up. I have to see how it goes. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to jump into customizing. And that's pretty much it. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you like and sub. And I'll see you in the next one.